episode 17 on parental alienation. So what I'd like to do in this episode is just share my closing thoughts. I just watched a 48 hours episode. I love that show, and this time it happened to be about parental alienation, but it was an extreme case. It was a case where the father goes to the daughter and says, I'm going to commit suicide, but you can help save me. If we kill your mom, I won't have to kill myself. So that was an ultimatum given to this daughter. Are you going to choose me, or are you going to choose the other parent? And the show was called Carrie's Choice. I thought, that's an extreme case, but it's correct in that parental alienation is about an ultimatum. And in my brother's case, it was basically the mother going to the children saying, you've got an ultimatum here, you're going to choose me or you're going to choose your dad. And it was with regards to mental death. The mother basically went to the children and communicated, I'm not going to survive this. If you guys go off and have happy visitations with your dad, it's going to kill me. So in order for me to be okay, you are going to have to cut off your dad. You're going to have to basically get rid of him and get him out of the picture. So this is the ultimatum of parental alienation. And it's really so crazy because, for most moms, when it comes to visitation time, I'm sure it's, hey, I need a break. Calgon, take me away. This is my bubble bath time. Go have fun with your dad. But according to Dr. Childress, the reason why these people can't do it in parental alienation is because of narcissism. The narcissistic fears, the narcissistic delusions, the narcissistic rage, narcissistic need for revenge. And when I was learning about the Childress, at first I thought there was a contradiction in that. I thought, okay, there's the delusion that the father is abusive, but then there's also the desire for revenge and narcissistic rage. I'm like, which is it? Is it a delusion or is it rage and desire for revenge? And when I was pondering that question, I happened to watch at the time a police interrogation with that man who kidnapped Elizabeth Smart. And I realized, it's both. Because with that man, he had the delusion that God gave him Elizabeth Smart as a spiritual wife. But then there was also that desire for sex, and it was about lust. So I thought, it's the same in parental alienation, where there's the delusion, but then it's also about the desire for revenge. It's both. So what parental alienation is, in my eyes, is it's kind of like the Hansel and Gretel story, where the kids are held captive, they're withering away, they're being held captive by a wicked witch. It's very similar to that. And you wonder if that story was about parental alienation before we knew the term parental alienation. It also reminds me very much of Munchausen by proxy, which is where the child is hurt, their health is hurt to satisfy the desires of the parent to get attention. And they're in the hospital and the parent's loving all the attention that they're getting. Parental alienation is really the same thing, but it's where the child is psychologically hurt to satisfy the desires of the parent. Their need for revenge, their need for lowering their anxiety, playing the protective parent. So with parental alienation, it has not progressed as far as Munchausen by proxy. The science is out there, but unlike Munchausen by proxy, the courts are really not on board. The hospitals now know what they're looking for with Munchausen by proxy. The courts throw them in jail. So it's very similar where it's new, it's a new thing. The science is out there with Dr. Childress. It's just a matter of time. So that's why I love doing these videos is we got to get the science out there. We've got to get the courts on board. We've got to move this forward.